President Trump's combative trade policies have forced some of the United States' biggest trading partners to fight back and speak out against the tariffs. But these levies are creating rifts within the U.S. as well. This week, California became the first state to take legal action against the Trump administration to combat the tariffs. All the while, the president is again criticizing the Federal Reserve for its stance on tariffs, even calling for the firing of its chairman. Tessa Bennett has the details.
While the Trump administration's aggressive tariff policies have been wreaking havoc on the global economy, we're learning it's causing trouble within the U.S. as well. Earlier this week, California became the first state to announce legal action against President Trump in response to some of his policies. California's Governor Gavin Newsom is spearheading the litigation, saying his suit will argue that Trump's use of the International Emergency Economic Powers Act to impose blanket tariffs against Mexico, Canada, and China, as well as the rest of the world, is unlawful.
The uncertainty is pronounced and it is profound in the state of California. Consider just the imports coming from Mexico, Canada, and China. 44% of all of the imports into the state of California alone come from just those three countries. The impacts of these tariffs, particularly on those three countries, disproportionately impact the state of California. Across the spectrum, the impacts are off the chart.
This economic act allows the president to block transactions in response to foreign threats. Newsom is arguing the tariffs hurt Californian businesses disproportionately due to a disrupted supply chain.
The plaintiffs, the governor and attorney general of California, can ask the court for kind of temporary relief from the tariffs. And so the judge could order a temporary injunction or restraining order that would be an order that the tariffs cease until the lawsuit is heard.
California is the world's fifth largest economy, outpacing every other U.S. state and most countries. It's home to the largest shares of manufacturing and agricultural production in the U.S.
If ultimately the courts decide that this is an improper action by the executive branch, then Trump would have some other tools he could fall back on. There are other statutes he could rely upon to try to impose similar tariffs.
Kolsky-Lewis also suggested other Democratic states are likely to follow suit with legal action of their own. And while the litigation is working to remove tariffs, trading partners are still being inspired to look elsewhere, like Canada.
There are many reasons why companies that are doing business with California or any business in the U.S. might want to make alternative plans. Their profit margins are going to go down. The purchasing within the U.S. is likely going to go down because prices are going to go up.
Meanwhile, Trump has publicly criticized Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell, disagreeing with his management of interest rates and calling for his termination. Powell delivered a stark warning about the effect of Trump's tariffs, suggesting the action could lead to high rates of inflation in the country.
The level of tariff increases announced so far is significantly larger than anticipated, and the same is likely to be true of the economic effects.
Trump took to Truth Social, calling Powell's address at the Economic Club of Chicago a mess. And this is not the first time the president has vocalized his dislike of Powell's approach to U.S. monetary policy. On April 4th, just 2 days after his so-called Liberation Day tariff announcement, Trump said it would be the perfect time for Fed Chairman Jerome Powell to cut interest rates. The president remains steadfast in his approach to trade, vowing to balance a supposed trade deficit.